My thoughts on the state of WoW. Okay. Let's go.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Pyromancer here, and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day, morning, evening, afternoon,
This guy watches my stream too.
whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. And today I want to finally talk about a bit of a touchy subject, and that is the state of
Bill Cosby. Was that a bad joke? Okay, whatever.
World of Warcraft.
Earnings call? Wait, is the earnings call actually starting now? I thought it was in an hour. I was like almost certain that it was in an hour. It's in 25 minutes. Okay, see, exactly. Yeah, we're perfect. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's start. In 30 minutes, okay.
My opinions and thoughts on it, my hopes going into the future, and kind of my position and stance on Blizzard at the moment. I want to let you guys know right off the start. I know that this is like a touchy subject, and I'm just going to be real with you. For me, and I think for many others, there's a really good reason why people get so upset. And I think generally that is manifested in the form of anger, but I think that it comes from a place of fear. Because that's...
Are we talking about WoW? Yo, I feel like we're talking about some kind of like crazy ass like fucking like something really bad, man. Okay.
That's how it is for me. I think that there are certainly some things that I'm a little angry about. I don't voice that generally.
Okay.
But it's because I'm scared. And I think that's fair. I think that's only natural. I would like to say that I would hope that nobody wants World of Warcraft to fail, right?
Okay.
Like, I don't think many of the people that trash talk WoW before things started going downhill, I don't think many of those people were sitting around hoping that World of Warcraft was gonna die or will die, or, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
And I really believe this is true. I think most people want the game to be successful. They want it to be good.
Well,
they want it to be enjoyable. Something that they want to sit down and play all day. As Asmongold puts it,
oh,
you know, I want to ruin my life playing this game.
Yeah.
And I can relate. You know, I actually came to WoW from RuneScape. I know. And RuneScape was a hell of a grind, man. And when they tried to put in the evolution of combat for RuneScape and try to basically turn it into WoW, scuffed WoW, I was like, fuck this, dude. I'm just gonna go play WoW then. And I fell in love with WoW, and that's where it was, you know. Let me say this.
Well, luckily for him, we have the GCD.
As someone who not only plays the game, but has, in some situations, made a living off of the game and off of content based around the game, I feel the pressure of, you know, the game's state and its path more than anybody, more than most people, right? You know, when this is what I
feel the same way, actually.
What I do my videos about. Of course it's scary. And I think that's really what it boils down to is I'm more afraid than anything because I don't want the game to fail. Now, here's some of the problems that I have with WoW right now. First of all, I think
I'll do 1.25.
The GCD change, I think, was a bad decision. I think that the game feels a little too slow now. And I think that it felt a lot better. I think it flowed better. I think it had better pacing before the GCD change. Now, thankfully, they have reverted a lot of the, especially utility and movement-based abilities with that GCD change.
Thank God. Yeah, that's true.
I still think that the game just feels a little bit too slow now. Now, with that being said, I understand a lot of the point.
I mean, how can he say that? How can he say the game is too slow if dampening only went up to 70%? In PvP, like, I mean, how could it be too slow if there's only dampening at 70%? There's no way it's too slow.
This guy's got no clue what he's talking about at all.
I mean, the game is way too fast now. I mean, I can go to bed and wake back up, and sometimes the match will be over. I'm going to lose my place. I won't know what's going on.
Points that Ian brings up, especially on the live stream Q&As. And I think that I have a pretty good comprehension of why they don't do some of the things that they do, because, and it's not because of that you think you do but you don't situation, like PvP vendors. It's one of those things where I understand why they don't want to do it, but when your community is pretty much, from what I've seen, unanimously agreeing that they want PvP vendors, I don't understand why you would just continue to not do that, even if you think that it's a better system. And there are some people that do enjoy the newer gearing system better.
Let me ask, McConnell, let me ask you something. I'm gonna hear what you say about this.
Okay.
Whenever everybody in the community wants something, do you think that Blizzard has a certain obligation to deliver that?
No.
Well, do you think they should?
No.
Why not?
Just because a whole bunch of people say they want something doesn't necessarily mean they need it or they should want it. It might not be the best for them. So, you can't, just because it's the herd mentality you're always going on and on about, dude. Okay? It doesn't mean they're right. It just means they want it.
That's kind of true. I suppose that is kind of true. I think that whenever you have everybody that wants the game to work a certain way, and Blizzard is fixated on not making it work that way, I don't think that there's any value in that. And I think they should add back vendors, but I see what you're saying. I do. Because like that, I mean, using that logic that I was using, like without taking into context what McConnell was saying, that's how we got LFR. So it might not necessarily be the best idea.
Exactly.
Believe it or not. I personally don't. I always liked saving up honor points and buying the pieces that I wanted to buy first, especially when there was like unique transmog and stuff involved. I thought that was very, very important. I'll be honest though, with how WoW is right now, I don't find myself logging in that much. Since I stopped mythic raiding and doing progression raiding, the game doesn't really hold a lot of drive for me or value. Like when I log in, I don't really feel inspired to go and do anything, because realistically there's not much of a worthwhile grind, right? Like I suppose I could log in and do Mythic Plus to get gear to do what? See, that's the problem, is like if personally for me, if I'm not doing mythic progression, what am I getting the gear for anyway? Like, I don't care to really push high mythic keys. I'm not terribly interested in trying to push
who cares? Who gives a fuck?
Or anything. And
who cares?
So I'm kind of left with collection.
See, that's the thing. Like you do one fucking thing with gear. You go into PvP and you beat the shit out of people. Like that is the only reason that you get gear. That is the only fucking point. You do your raid. You get the piece of gear. You get the new sword. You queue for a Rathi Basin. You kill nubs. That's the way it goes. That's the way it's been. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should always be. And that's what fucking works. That's how it should be. Not this fucking weird scaling bullshit. Whenever you attack somebody, you do actually less damage to them because it's scaled down that way. They won't feel too bad because they're too much shittier than you are, and then you're so much better than they are. It's like artificially put together, and you have people using gems and shitty gear for arena because it's better. Like, this is so fucking dumb, man. Like,
you gotta max out your character to see how hard you can stomp people while listening to Smash Mouth. Well, I mean,
yes.
That's just your sexual fantasy, dude.
That's what you do. Like, that's what you do. You go in there, like in Burning Crusade. I got my Brutal Gladiator's Bone Grinder. I remember auto-attacking somebody. It was the Great Sword, because it was a sword spec proc. I auto-attacked somebody. I sword spec procced. I took him down to half health. That shit was fucking amazing. Just like one auto-attack, they were at half health. I felt so good about myself. That's what we fucking need. That's why people got gear. You didn't go and get gear and then queue for a heroic. You got gear to queue for PvP. That's what it was always about. That was the point.
Go around and collect mounts and stuff like that. But even that, can just gets a little boring over time, because you just kind of realize that you're playing a slot machine on, super rare mounts, and I don't know how many times I've killed the Pandaria world bosses, but I'm kind of bored of doing it. You know what I mean? It's easy and it's quick. But
Yeah.
the point is that it's just getting old. And there are some things that WoW is doing really well right now. The zone design, fucking immaculate, dude. The art team slays it, man. I think some of the new mounts, especially like the Bloodseeker mounts and stuff, those are fucking dope. Like the frog mounts, amazing.
Yeah.
The cutscenes,
I agree with that.
dude. Oh my god, like the cutscenes they've never been this good in the history of WoW, obviously. And that
The
goes
Jaina
from like
cutscenes
the
were
lore
amazing.
on launch cinematic all the way up to the questing cinematics. There's so much lore value, so much storytelling that's going on right now. You know, like people like Jaina finally coming to grips and letting go of the guilt that she carries. Sylvanas having to step out of the shadows and to an extent do some things that other people wouldn't have the will or
Being a complete bitch and turning into the Lich King 2.0 so we can kill our next expansion.
gall to do. And like I said in my other videos, I don't necessarily agree with everything Sylvanas is doing, but I think she's a much more interesting character, and I think that it's way cooler than what they do with most of their characters. I like this horde drama, and just wait, Alliance players, you're gonna get yours. Don't worry. Wait till the fucking Lightbound come in through alternate Draenor, and Yrel gets all up with Anduin, and Calia Menethil starts getting involved. Trust me, you guys, your hands ain't gonna be clean neither. Trust. That will fucking come.
Oh boy.
How does he know that's gonna
happen?
happen? Wait, does that
Just
actually happen?
Well, I mean, like, you know, the Kalia, who's the girl? The one that Anduin talked to in the cinematic that he's obviously gonna fuck, like the Bolvar's daughter. No, not Yrel. Like Yrel, they're just gonna, honestly, I don't even think that's gonna come to term. All right, Talia, yeah, they're obviously gonna get married, and it's not even gonna be a big thing. Like,
You have to have, dude, you have to have good and bad aspects of people for it to be
interesting.
interesting. Like, look at the fucking Bloody Baron quest in Witcher 3. Like, that dude was a fucking mess. And
Yep.
it was an interesting storyline because, you know, he did all this fucked up shit, and then you see him showing remorse and, you know, him reminiscing about his, you know, his daughter and all this other shit, and you see the context of what happened. That's an interesting fucking storyline. And then you look at this shit going on in WoW, and it's like they hired fucking high schoolers to write this shit.
Well,
It's so lazy.
Well, it's like the DeviantArt fan fiction. Like, the Blizzard was like, hey, man, let's cut out the middleman. Why don't you just work for us? And we got WoD, which was fucking garbage. Legion, I think, was okay. What did you think about the Legion War?
It was alright.
Yeah, it was all right. I thought the Legion War was okay. The BFA lore, I guess. Oh, the Jaina storyline is really good, but the part with Sylvanas is fucking dumb. Like, I really don't like that at all. And you're right. Like, the mixed characters are more interesting. I think the best mixed character of like any series that I can think of is Jaime Lannister. That should be the goal of every sort of character, right? You have these terrible parts of the character and these very good parts of the character, and it makes them feel like human and real. Jaime Lannister, in my opinion, is one of the best, like, most well-crafted characters ever.
Yeah, but he's gonna die.
No, he's not.
He's 100% gonna die.
He's gonna kill Cersei. I don't think he's gonna die.
Yeah, maybe he might do that, but he's also going to die. The winner is going to be Tyrion is going to win. Like, if you think they would kill off Tyrion, you're mistaken. That would upset way too many people. Okay?
I think they're gonna kill Tyrion.
Anyway,
I do. I think Jon Snow is also gonna kill Daenerys. That's what I think is gonna happen. Okay, let's go back.
Yep.
Stuff with the old gods, like the raids, and to an extent even the dungeons, like all that stuff is really fucking good. Like all the voice acted quests, like the island expedition hinting quests, you know, that hint at the apocalypse or the return of the Twilight Dragons, and like all that stuff in WoW currently is fucking stellar. But like I feel as though most of
those things that he just talked about, do any of you all know anything about that? The return of the Twilight Dragons. I'm curious. No? Yeah, me either.
yeah, who the fuck cares?
Why not? Why don't we know that? That's a good question. Like, I wish that I fucking knew.
the issues right now are coming up as like PR issues, timing issues with like store mount releases and stuff. Like I'm not against store mounts, just so you guys know. I have several of them. I'm
Wrong.
not against buying them. And I think that personally, we have enough unique mounts in the game, and I have almost 400 of them. So please
That's
hold
a
your
lot.
opinion if you don't collect mounts. I think we have enough unique, cool-looking mounts in the game that I don't get upset about the fact that the store mounts are also unique and cool, and they're optional, and they don't count towards any of the achievements for collecting mounts. So it's like you're not actually even missing out necessarily if you don't purchase them.
Oh, he's
With
a
that
store
being
mount
said,
apologist, dude.
Again, I think that
I'm not a fan. I'll have to say I'm not a fan of store mounts. I've never have been. I never will be. I think they're cancer. I will. They do count. Do they count or not? I mean,
Count for what?
the mount achievements.
Oh, yeah, they count.
Some people are saying no. Some people are saying yes. Jeez, it's so hard for me to even fucking tell.
Yes, they count. Okay, trust me.
a lot of the stuff in WoW is really great right now. But then there's some of the financial decisions up in Blizzard. I think some of the operational and actual, really like what it comes down to for me is like the mechanical game design. Like I don't have anything to grind for. Like on RuneScape, at least I can grind for 99 skill capes of achievement that I can use to show off that I've maxed out a skill, right? Like I have incentive to grind the fuck out of the game. But in WoW, there's nothing like that. Hell, we don't even have challenge modes anymore, even though it sounds like they might actually be bringing that back. So
that would be great
on that one. So again, if the story in WoW wasn't as fucking god tier that it is, and I'm sorry for those people that they've never read the books and they don't read the short stories, they don't know the fucking story of WoW. Okay?
Exactly, that's the problem.
They don't. If you're not reading the quest text and stuff, you probably aren't keeping up that well with the story either. If you're not watching the cutscenes, you're definitely not. I'm gonna say it. The WoW story is so massive and so jumbled over so many years that most people don't actually know what the fuck is going on, and that's just all there is to it. If the WoW storyline wasn't as good as it is, I don't know what would really keep me interested in the game. Here's the thing: is that with the job cuts at Activision Blizzard,
what is this guy smoking?
With the leadership changes.
No, what he's saying is like the story that transcends just the in-game content, like the books, the short stories, and the Sylvanas short story. I remember reading that one; it was pretty good. A lot of the short stories and everything are good. Just because the in-game stuff is bad doesn't mean that WoW doesn't have a good story. The problem is that the story isn't communicated in-game very well. That's the issue.
What? This shit sucks. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to read a book to fucking enjoy the game, okay? Like, look, I'll use Witcher 3 again as an example, okay? The Witcher 3 or the Witcher series is based off fucking books, okay? Like really old books, like from the 90s or 80s.
Nobody's debating this.
Nobody fucking read that shit, but then you played the Witcher games, and the games are fucking awesome. You know why? Because the story's communicated in a good way, and it makes you think. Think about it, dumbass.
Okay. I'll take it.
CFO and all that stuff, which Bellular has been talking about a lot. And I think Bellular, I respect and value his opinions on this kind of stuff because he, being a game developer himself, I would say that he is a little more educated than most other people on the subject. And
I'd agree with that.
He tries to take a pretty relatively pragmatic approach to it, but still at times, even I think even Bellular, is a little doom and gloom, and he knows that as well, as he's mentioned in his videos. But
I wonder why.
Like he's got a whole crew of guys, editors and stuff like that, that to an extent, they kind of rely on this, that YouTube channel to pay the bills, right? So it's pretty important to him as well. So it's one of those things where I am of the opinion that I don't personally think that there's some, Illuminati scheme fucking secret takeover of Activision Blizzard, because as it's been pointed out, they're already the same fucking company. And I don't think that all of a sudden there's been this massive shift to intentionally destroy the game. And I think in the last Q&A, Ian has...
What do you think about that?
What do you say?
That the Activision, it's a conspiracy. People saying that Activision is causing the problems at Blizzard.
Of course they are. What do you mean? Activision is... It's Activision... Look, think of... you know what? I'll use terms that chat can understand because they're all retarded, okay? Asmon, you are old school Blizzard, okay? And I am Activision, okay? Now, I'm your friend, right? Now I latched onto you just like Activision latched on to fucking Blizzard, okay? They're a cancerous leech, all right? And now Blizzard is ruined, just like your stream's ruined, okay? Does that make sense now? Activision is terrible.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, you're right. Here's all right. Listen. Activision is not directly making the game fail. I think the people in charge that are mostly comprised of Activision are setting expectations that force Blizzard into doing things that make the game fail. So they're not necessarily saying, hey, make the game fail, but they're saying, hey, meet these expectations, and the expectations make the game fail. That's what I think is happening.
Ghostus really put that together for us, where he said, we care a lot. Like, we don't want the game to suck. Like, we don't want it to be. I mean, when you think about this, think about it in just like a logical manner. Like, separate all emotions and stuff from it, and just think about it this way: if Activision Blizzard is intent on making more money, right? How does it make any logical sense for them to intentionally make changes with full intent of the reaction of those changes netting them less money, right? Like, it doesn't make sense that you would intentionally design something poorly because you would buy proxy, just kind of directly make less money, right? So I think that the whole idea that they're killing the game and stuff like that, that's very extreme. And again, I think that comes from a place of fear, which again, I totally understand.
Wait.
The call started.
The call started? Okay, just a second.